Elsewhere on Capitol Hill, former Secretary of State John Kerry facing tough questions from Republicans on the House Foreign Affairs Committee over those accusations that he shared sensitive secrets and discussed Israeli airstrikes with Iran's foreign minister. Our next guest is a member of that panel and was at that hearing today. Let's bring in Tennessee Congressman Mark Green. He's also a member of the House Armed Services Committee, as I just mentioned. Thank you for being here. Obviously, this was a big day to find out if there's any truth behind these allegations. What did you walk out of that hearing room believing happened?
Well, Sandra, thanks for having me on your show. I think there's still a lot more questions. John Kerry was asked very specifically about the meeting in Munich, and he couldn't remember having the meeting. And I was there at the same time in Munich, and I remember all the people I met with. So I don't understand why, Secretary couldn't remember that he met with someone from Iran. So that left a lot of question marks, a lot of unanswered questions. So we've got to dig into this more.
Congressman, one of the key exchanges today at that hearing was between Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania and the former Secretary of State. Let's tee that up and listen to it and get you on the back end.
Did you provide information to Mr. Zarif on Israeli operations against Iranian-backed terrorists during or following your tenure as Secretary of State?
On no occasion. Never.
Never. So Mr. Zarif is a liar.
Mr. Zarif may be confused or incorrect, or he's trying to embellish his...
So Kerry was pretty consistent with what he has said on Twitter in the past. But what puzzled me, Congressman, was when Kerry said the first time that he heard about the number of 200 Israeli strikes against Iranian assets in Syria was when he read it in the New York Times. But the State Department had said, oh, that was public information, it was already known, it wasn't really news. So you've got Kerry saying, first time I heard about it was in the New York Times, State Department saying it was already known. There's a disconnect there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a huge disconnect, and there's no way that the Secretary of State, the former Secretary of State, went to the Munich, security conference and didn't know who he met with. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. And of course, he knew about those strikes, it's just very concerning. He knows. I mean, basically, Scott Perry was asking him, "Did you break the law?" So your knee-jerk response, his knee-jerk response is going to be, oh, no, absolutely not. But Lee Zeldin's question was, who did you meet with? And he's saying, oh, I don't remember meeting with that person. And was very, when it got really specific, Kerry wouldn't answer.
I don't know, Congressman, is this a crazy question to ask? Wouldn't there be documentation of who he met with?
Yes, I would think so. I'm certainly in the capacities that he has served. And people are going to know that.
So what are you going to do? What is your party going to do to dig deeper into this?
Well, we're going to continue to ask the questions. We'll continue to petition oversight to dig into this. This is a combination of Oversight's National Security Subcommittee as well as Foreign Affairs. So both of those committees will petition the chairman. Of course, we're not the majority party, so we're going to have to basically get them to do it. The Oversight Committee has some subpoena authorities in the minority. So the actual minority in the Oversight Committee can do some subpoenas. So I'd say they're probably the best to take this on.
Congressman, you said that Secretary Kerry did not remember who he met with at that meeting, but he certainly has in the past acknowledged that he has met with Javad Zarif after he ceased to be the Secretary of State. He told Bill Maher a couple of years ago, oh, yeah, that stuff happens all the time. Does it happen all the time that a former Secretary of State meets with an official of a country with which we do not have diplomatic relations to talk policy?
He did so in the midst of the president, the then current president, getting rid of the Iran deal. So our president is executing basically a strategy of containment against Iran, and you've got the former Secretary of State actually talking to a leader of that country. It's inappropriate on its face, regardless of what they said.
Congressman, really appreciate you joining us. We hope to follow up with you. Obviously, this continues, and we'll see where things go next. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sandra.
All right.